When it's so cold that gasoline turns into an ice cube and your skin can freeze in seconds, most people wouldn't last the day. But the Inuit have not only survived in these brutal conditions for thousands of years, they've thrived, all thanks to their incredible way of using Arctic animals for food, warmth, and survival. Take caribou, for example. What makes caribou fur so special? Unlike most animal hair, caribou fur contains hollow fibers that trap body heat with remarkable efficiency. These microscopic air pockets work like natural thermos bottles, creating one of the warmest natural materials on Earth. A traditional caribou parka can keep someone comfortable even when the mercury drops to temperatures that would freeze gasoline. The process of transforming caribou hide into clothing is both an art and a science that has been perfected over thousands of years. After hunting, the hide is carefully removed in one piece, then scraped clean of fat and flesh. The skin is stretched on wooden frames where it dries in the Arctic air. Women often chew sections of the hide to soften them, probably the world's most labor-intensive way to make clothing. These traditional parkas, called atiji, are typically made with a double layer of fur. The inner layer positions the fur facing inward against the body, while the outer layer places the fur facing outward. This dual-layer system creates an insulated airspace that's so effective, modern materials still struggle to match its performance. Even with modern fabrics available, many Inuit still prefer traditional caribou clothing for extreme conditions. One Canadian Arctic researcher once famously said, "Government workers would arrive with their fancy modern gear and be begging to borrow caribou mitts within a week." Attempts to modernize Arctic clothing have often failed spectacularly. In the 1960s, well-meaning government programs introduced synthetic parkas to many Inuit communities. When temperatures drop below negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit, these modern materials become brittle and cracked. Meanwhile, caribou parkas remain flexible and warm. For footwear, nothing beats caribou hide boots called kamik. The hide from a caribou's leg is particularly prized because the hair is shorter and denser there, creating boots that won't overheat during physical activity, yet still insulate effectively during rest periods. While caribou provide the ultimate cold weather protection, surviving in the Arctic requires more than just staying warm. If caribou provide the wardrobe for Arctic survival, seals are undoubtedly the supermarket. But this isn't your typical grocery trip. Inuit hunters sometimes wait motionless for hours by a seal's breathing hole in temperatures cold enough to freeze your eyelashes together. Talk about patience. Most of us can't even wait for 2 minutes in a fast food line without checking our phones. The remarkable thing about seal hunting is that absolutely nothing goes to waste. The meat provides essential protein, but that's just the beginning of the seal's contribution to survival. The blubber, often 4 inches thick, serves multiple crucial purposes. When rendered into oil, it becomes fuel for the traditional Qualic stone lamps that provide both light and heat inside igloos and other dwellings. A single seal can produce enough oil to keep a lamp burning for weeks. Raw seal meat might not appear on many restaurant menus, but in the Arctic, it's a nutritional powerhouse. The Inuit practice of eating some seal meat raw, called nikituinak, isn't just cultural tradition, it's survival science. Raw seal meat contains high levels of vitamin C that would be destroyed by cooking. Before modern supplements were available, this was the primary defense against scurvy during long winters when fresh plants were unavailable. The vitamin D content in seal blubber is particularly important in a place where the sun doesn't rise for months during winter. One study found that despite minimal sun exposure, traditional Inuit diets provided enough vitamin D to prevent deficiency. Mother Nature's multivitamin comes with flippers. Traditional seal hunting requires incredible skill and knowledge. Hunters track subtle signs, a small bubble pattern in newly formed ice or the faintest ripple in open water, to locate seals. When hunting at breathing holes, they may use carved ivory lures that mimic the sound of a baby seal to attract adults. The ivory harpoons they craft have detachable heads connected to lines, allowing hunters to secure their catch even under ice. Perhaps most impressive is the hunter's ability to build tools from the seal itself. The bones become sled runners, skin transforms into waterproof clothing, and sinew, tendon fiber, creates incredibly strong cord for everything from harpoon lines to sewing thread. Even the intestines serve a purpose. When cleaned, dried, and sewn together, they make waterproof garments that are surprisingly lightweight. While seals provide everything from dinner to dwelling supplies, the true test of hunting skill comes when facing the Arctic's most formidable predator. The largest land predator on Earth, an adult male polar bear, can weigh over 1,500 pounds and stand 10 feet tall on its hind legs. If normal hunting is like playing chess, polar bear hunting is like playing chess with someone who might flip the board over and eat you. What makes this hunt so dangerous isn't just the bear's size, it's their intelligence. Polar bears are tactical hunters themselves, known to stalk prey for miles and even cover their black noses with snow to avoid detection. Traditional Inuit hunters turn these same stealth tactics against the bear, approaching downwind and using natural terrain for cover. The risks are substantial. A single swipe from a polar bear's paw can be fatal, with claws measuring up to 4 inches long. Yet for centuries, Inuit hunters, armed with nothing more sophisticated than handcrafted spears, faced these creatures. The traditional hunting method involved 2 men, one to attract the bear's attention and another to strike from the side with a spear aimed at vital organs. A miscalculation by either hunter often meant death. When a polar bear is successfully hunted, nothing is wasted. The thick fur makes bedding and clothing that can withstand the harshest conditions. In fact, a study found that polar bear fur is so effective at trapping heat that it's nearly invisible on infrared cameras, explaining why the traditional Inuit saying goes, "Only a fool leaves home without polar bear mittens when the moon freezes." The meat provides essential calories, though experienced hunters avoid one specific organ, the liver. Polar bear liver contains toxic levels of vitamin A, over 35,000 international units per gram, enough to cause serious illness or death if consumed. Mother Nature's way of saying, take what you need, but leave the filter system alone. Each hunt carries deep cultural significance and is surrounded by rituals showing respect for the animal spirit. Many communities place the bear's skull facing the direction it came from, allowing its spirit to continue its journey. Others leave small offerings of tobacco or tools with the remains, traditional gestures acknowledging the bear's sacrifice. Modern laws strictly regulate polar bear hunting, but special provisions exist for indigenous communities with historical hunting rights. In regions like Nunavut, Canada, hunting quotas are established based on traditional ecological knowledge combined with scientific data, ensuring sustainable practices continue. While the polar bear represents the most dangerous hunt, the Inuit survival in extreme environments often depends on another animal, one that serves not as prey, but as partner. Arctic dogs work alongside humans as essential partners in the struggle against extreme conditions. The Canadian Inuit dog, or Chimik, isn't your average backyard companion. These powerhouses can pull more than twice their body weight across ice and snow for distances exceeding 70 miles per day. Your neighbor's poodle that gets tired after fetching a tennis ball 3 times? Not quite the same league. Arctic sled dogs differ dramatically from southern breeds in both physical attributes and dietary needs. Standing about 26 inches tall and weighing around 100 pounds, these dogs possess thick double coats that allow them to sleep comfortably in snow at negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Their metabolism runs differently too. Where most dogs thrive on protein-heavy diets, Arctic dogs require significant fat intake, sometimes consuming up to 10,000 calories daily during heavy work periods. The traditional dog team configuration reveals generations of refined knowledge. The lead dog, often the most intelligent rather than the strongest, must understand dozens of voice commands and make split-second decisions about safe ice crossings. Wheel dogs positioned closest to the sled provide power, while team dogs in the middle maintain pace and direction. This arrangement optimizes both safety and efficiency in a place where travel mistakes can be fatal. Beyond transportation, these dogs serve as mobile warning systems. Their acute senses can detect thin ice, approaching storms, and even nearby polar bears long before humans notice anything amiss. Many experienced mushers tell stories of dogs suddenly refusing to cross seemingly solid ice, only to discover later that the ice was dangerously thin just yards ahead. One remarkable aspect of the Inuit-dog relationship is how the animals adapt to extreme conditions. Unlike humans who must build shelters, these dogs can curl into tight balls, tucking their noses under their tails to preserve body heat. Their fur is so efficient that snow landing on them doesn't melt, instead forming an additional insulating layer. The close bond between Inuit and their dogs extends into hunting. Traditional seal hunting often relied on dogs to locate breathing holes hidden under snow. Once game is caught, dogs help transport the heavy carcasses back to camp, a task that would exhaust humans working alone. A traditional Inuit saying captures this partnership perfectly. Without the dog, winter travel would not exist, and man would remain a prisoner of summer. This interdependence has shaped survival strategies for thousands of years, creating a relationship unlike typical pet ownership found elsewhere. While dogs provide mobility and safety on land, the Inuits' relationship with the ocean's largest creatures offers different but equally crucial resources for Arctic survival. In the high-stakes game of Arctic survival, nothing compares to successfully hunting a whale. While dogs provide transport and bears offer fur, a single bowhead whale weighing up to 100 tons represents the nutritional equivalent of hundreds of seals. It's like winning the Arctic lottery, except instead of a giant check, you get several tons of blubber and everyone in town shows up for dinner. The traditional whale hunt requires extraordinary community cooperation. Unlike other hunts that might involve a few individuals, whale hunting mobilizes entire villages. Teams of hunters in multiple skin boats called umiaks, often made from walrus or bearded seal hide stretched over wooden frames, work together to track and pursue their massive quarry. The coordination involved represents generations of accumulated knowledge passed down through oral tradition. At the center of Inuit whale hunting is muktuk, the skin and blubber layer that serves as both delicacy and survival food. Rich in vitamin C, D, and E, this 3-inch thick layer provides essential nutrients scarce in the Arctic environment. The nutritional profile is so impressive that a single pound of muktuk delivers approximately 2,550 calories and more vitamin C than several oranges. During long winters without fresh vegetation, these nutrients prevent scurvy and other deficiency diseases. The Inuit approach to whale hunting reflects deep ecological knowledge. Hunters can identify individual whales by unique markings and behaviors, allowing them to track migration patterns across seasons. Many elders can determine a whale's age and health status simply by observing its breathing pattern or the shape of its blow, skills that take decades to develop fully. Nothing from a harvested whale goes unused. The meat feeds communities for months. Blubber provides oil for lamps and cooking. Baleen, the filter-feeding plates in the whale's mouth, becomes flexible, durable material for making everything from fishing line to snowshoes. Even the massive bones find purpose as building materials for homes or as sled runners in regions where wood is scarce. Traditional hunting methods involved approaching whales in skin boats and using harpoons attached to sealskin floats. These floats prevented the whale from diving too deeply and eventually tired the animal. Modern Inuit communities still practice traditional whaling in many regions, though with updated tools and under carefully managed quotas that ensure sustainability. The cultural importance of whaling extends beyond physical survival. Many communities maintain special ceremonies related to the whale hunt, including ritualized distribution systems ensuring that every household receives a share regardless of their direct participation in the hunt. These practices strengthen community bonds essential for collective survival. While whales represent the biggest potential food source in the Arctic, another resource remains available even during the darkest winter months when hunting becomes nearly impossible. What happens when blizzards rage and temperatures drop so low that even hunting becomes impossible? This is when the Inuit turn to the most reliable food source in the Arctic: fish. Hidden beneath ice that can grow over 6 feet thick lies an underwater pantry that never closes even during the darkest winter months. Ice fishing in the Arctic bears little resemblance to the casual weekend hobby practiced in warmer regions. When temperatures hit minus 60 degrees Fahrenheit, cutting through ice becomes a serious workout. Traditional tools include the took, a specialized ice chisel often made from caribou antler or whalebone that can punch through ice several feet thick. Modern ice augers may drill faster, but they don't double as polar bear protection in a pinch. Once the ice hole is created, it must be kept from refreezing, a constant battle in extreme cold. Traditional fishers use carved bone or ivory fishing implements, including hooks, lures, and spears specifically designed for different fish species. The fishing line itself might be crafted from sinew, animal tendon that, when dried and processed, create surprisingly strong cord that won't stiffen in the cold like modern fishing line. The primary catch varies by region, but Arctic char stands out as particularly important. This remarkable fish can survive in water just above freezing and contains high levels of omega-3 fatty acids, essential nutrition during winter months. A single large char can weigh up to 20 pounds and provide enough food for several days. What's more impressive is the char's ability to adapt to both freshwater and saltwater environments, making it available in lakes, rivers, and coastal areas. Storage techniques for fish show remarkable ingenuity. In some regions, fish are air-dried on racks where the intense cold flash freezes them naturally. These rock-hard fish, nicknamed Arctic power bars by some, can be eaten frozen, providing immediate energy during travel. Other preservation methods include fermentation in sealskin bags, producing a food called iguanak that serves as emergency rations during lean times. Perhaps most impressive is the knowledge required to find fish during different seasons. Experienced Inuit fishers can read subtle current patterns under ice, locate underwater structures where fish congregate, and track seasonal movements across vast distances. This knowledge, gained through generations of observation, allows for successful fishing when other food sources become inaccessible. The versatility of fish as a resource extends beyond food. Fish skin, when properly prepared, creates waterproof material for boots or containers. The bones become needles and awls, while oils extracted from fatty species provide fuel for lamps during the long, dark winter. Certain fish parts even serve medicinal purposes in traditional healing practices. While fish provide reliable sustenance throughout the harshest months, the Arctic sky offers another resource. Most outsiders assume birds vanish from the Arctic during winter, but that's only partly true. While many species migrate south, several hardy birds remain year-round, providing Inuit with crucial resources even during the darkest months. Why hunt birds in a land filled with larger game? The answer lies in their specialized adaptations. Take the eider duck. Its down insulates so effectively that it can swim in near-freezing water without losing body heat. This same insulation makes eider down one of the warmest, lightest materials on Earth. A traditional parka lined with eider down weighs mere ounces yet provides remarkable warmth. Today's synthetic jackets, with their fancy tech names and $300 price tags, are basically trying to copy what eider ducks figured out thousands of years ago. No venture capital funding required. Bird hunting techniques vary by season and species. During summer months when migratory birds arrive in massive numbers, bolas, weighted cords that entangle birds in flight, allow hunters to catch multiple birds with a single throw. In winter, snares set where ptarmigan gather to feed provide steady protein without requiring hunters to brave dangerous conditions. The ptarmigan deserves special mention for its year-round presence. These chicken-sized birds change from brown in summer to pure white in winter, with feathered feet that act like snowshoes. Their meat remains tender even in midwinter when other game becomes lean. They're like nature's frozen TV dinners. They come in white packaging and everything. Perhaps most surprising is how bird parts become specialized gear. Bird intestines, when cleaned and inflated, create waterproof containers and, when sewn together, form waterproof clothing. The technique sounds strange until you realize these natural tubes are perfectly designed to keep water out. After all, that's their biological function. Arctic terns, which migrate farther than any other bird on Earth, provide lightweight bones perfect for needles and fishing tools. Their annual journey from the Arctic to Antarctica and back covers roughly 44,000 miles. Eggs collected during nesting season offer concentrated nutrition precisely when many Inuit are recovering from winter scarcity. Traditional knowledge includes detailed understanding of each bird's behavior, allowing hunters to predict exactly where to find specific species based on subtle environmental cues like snow patterns or ice conditions. While birds provide lightweight materials perfect for mobility, the Arctic's most imposing residents offer resources specifically designed to withstand the coldest conditions on Earth. Looking like they wandered straight out of the Ice Age, Muskoxen have remained largely unchanged for thousands of years, and for good reason. These massive beasts weighing up to 900 pounds are perfectly designed for Arctic survival. Their most remarkable feature isn't their impressive horns, but what lies underneath their shaggy outer coat: Kiviut, the warmest natural fiber on the planet. How warm is Kiviut? 8 times warmer than sheep's wool and significantly warmer than cashmere, this incredible undercoat helps muskoxen withstand temperatures as low as -70 degrees Fahrenheit without shivering. If muskoxen had a business card, it would simply read, "Standing still in weather that would kill you since the Pleistocene era." The hunt for muskox presents unique challenges. When threatened, these prehistoric-looking animals don't flee like caribou. Instead, they form a defensive circle with adults facing outward and young protected in the center, a formation that has frustrated predators for millennia. Traditional hunters develop specialized techniques to break this formation, often requiring coordinated efforts from multiple individuals. What makes muskox truly valuable isn't just their meat. Although each animal provides hundreds of pounds of high-protein, fat-rich food, but their versatility as a resource. The horns become tools ranging from ladles to ice scrapers. The outer guard hairs make excellent fishing line, while the bones become tools durable enough to work frozen hides. The Kiviut itself represents the ultimate Arctic textile. A skilled craftsperson can create mittens so light they float on water, yet so warm they protect hands at temperatures where metal tools become brittle. Unlike wool, Kiviut doesn't shrink when wet and is remarkably soft against skin, lacking the microscopic barbs that make wool itchy. Traditional muskox drying techniques demonstrate deep ecological knowledge. The meat is cut into specific shapes calibrated to the local climate, ensuring proper preservation without spoilage. Some communities use stone structures that leverage natural wind patterns, producing dried meat that remains edible for months. In regions where trees are scarce, muskox bones replace wood for essential tools and building materials, showcasing the Inuit ability to adapt to resource limitations. The ultimate Arctic recyclers, when you live where nothing grows for 9 months of the year, you learn to use every scrap of what you hunt. While muskoxen provides the raw materials, transforming these resources into survival tools requires another set of specialized Arctic technologies. From the animals that sustain life in the Arctic comes the raw materials for an entire toolkit. Bones that would be discarded elsewhere transform into the essential technologies that make Arctic survival possible. When Home Depot is 1,000 miles away and Amazon doesn't deliver to ice floes, you learn to make do with what the hunt provides. Caribou antler becomes the perfect material for ice chisels, hard enough to crack through frozen surfaces, yet flexible enough not to shatter in extreme cold. Seal shoulder blades transform into ideal snow knives for cutting igloo blocks, while walrus ribs create sled runners that actually become more slippery through use. The most impressive Arctic technology might be the needle. Created from bird bones carefully ground to a fine point, these needles, combined with thread made from sinew, allow for the creation of waterproof clothing. The sinew itself, harvested from along the spine of caribou, becomes thread stronger than any plant fiber and uniquely suited to Arctic conditions as it swells when wet, naturally sealing needle holes. Nothing showcases Inuit ingenuity better than the ulu knife, a semicircular blade traditionally made from slate or bone. Designed specifically for women's tasks, its curved edge has remained essentially unchanged for over 4,000 years. It's the original multi-tool, centuries before Swiss Army knives came along with their unnecessary corkscrews. After all, who needs to open wine bottles when you're busy surviving at -60 degrees Fahrenheit? This remarkable ability to transform animal parts into survival tools proves that human creativity can overcome even the most challenging environments on Earth.